Welcome to the show, guys. I'm really happy that you're here again. Hello, my dear friend. How are you doing?
Doing amazing, always sunny, always happy vibes, good vibes from me. Welcome everyone from Dubai. And yeah, always amazing and great to see you, my friend, and great to see everybody who's watching. Let's have another amazing one and have a blast then. Faruk, over to you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So, we have an objective. We started with this project in 2025, one session per day. And the objective is now I'm setting the goal to have 1,000 subscribers end of March. Let's see if we are going to achieve that because it is specific, it is measurable, and let's see how it goes.
Awesome. Yeah. So everybody needs to subscribe. Everybody who sees this, subscribe to achieve the goal. Yeah.
And guys, if you have any questions, please let us know. Drop them in the comments, reach out to us via LinkedIn, and we are happy to answer your questions or speak about the topics you think they are interesting.
What's the topic for today?
The topic for today is Twitter or X, let's call it. And you have a very interesting story for us on that. So there is a link between crypto project and Twitter. What happened exactly?
Yeah. So just to provide the context, so a lot of crypto projects or in general people, what they do is they actually post automated content on X through the API. So it means you connect, through the API, and then basically your software generates a lot of content, Twitter on X, right? So this is actually strictly forbidden on LinkedIn, for instance, and on some other platforms, but on X, it's, used fairly substantially, and especially by crypto projects, right? What happened just recently, there's a lot of changes happening on X, and X now banned that you create, in many cases, AI content, and then through the API that you post it on X, because you're spamming X with what people call AI slop, basically not so high quality AI content, right? And especially who were hit there was, as you can imagine it, crypto projects, because crypto projects like to yap, like to post, like to talk. And obviously a lot of them were hit, meaning also individuals who were doing that, right? Just pushing a lot of AI content, but also projects who were, who were incentivizing people. So that's a very important point. There were crypto projects were incentivizing people to write this AI content in as much amount as possible. And then you get rewarded if you did that. So obviously when X decided to stop that, it was a big impact, big storm, big mess in crypto projects, crypto people, because all of a sudden you're hit. I heard the number that around 10 million of posts on X was created in such way per day from crypto projects, just from crypto. Imagine.
Crazy.
So that's 10 days, that's 100 million horrible content, So this was the background context, I think, Faruk, I want to hear from you, like, how do you see this, automated posting of content, AI content? Do you see this valuable, not valuable? Is it allowed on X? LinkedIn, tell us, and how do you see it happening on X?
They obviously abused it. So it's not useful at all. So if you are creating kind of AI content and try to abuse it and get incentivized for that, it's not useful for the community. It's not useful for people who are on X. So that's why absolutely not. And I am strongly convinced that X did the right approach there, and they restricted and probably also blocked these profiles. But in the same way, I'm really surprised that X allowed that to do it. And on the other hand, we have LinkedIn, because we are much more on the LinkedIn side. And we know that as soon OpenAI came with their software, obviously this was new for everyone, also for us and also for LinkedIn. And LinkedIn did, in the last 20 months, they restricted its algorithm in order to detect AI written content or AI generated content. And if you are generating content by AI, they restricted it immediately. Yeah. If you do that once per day, probably they are slowing down your impressions. But if you do that, like as you mentioned on X, I'm so convinced that they are blocking your profile, they're restricting your profile, and this will bring issue afterwards in order if you have this personal profile of yourself and you abuse it with AI content. Probably, there will be some unhappy stuff which you not be satisfied about it. How you see that?
Yeah, Faruk, what do you think about, in general, people using, let's say, forget about this automated posting part, right? This is a separate matter. But how do you see, in general, people using AI to write content Do you think it's good that AI writes the full content? Should AI be there to help you? Should, with the text, should be AI be there to give you ideas for content, and then you write it yourself? Where do you see the right fit there for AI, or not in general? What's your thoughts about it?
Very good question.
Because you're a big expert and a big leader in the content space. That's why I ask you.
Thank you very much. So the AI isn't a tool. So it is here, it will stay. So, and it's helpful. So, and then we have on the one hand, people who are writing the whole content with AI, and the other hand, people who are using it as a help, to optimize the content itself. So I'm completely against write content with AI. Okay. So this brings zero value for yourself, but also for the audience. So, and I don't recommend people to do that. So completely. But if you use AI as a support, as an assistant for idea generation, or you wrote a content by yourself and you're optimizing it because English is not your mother tongue and you're trying to optimize it, the words, absolutely fine. Do that. So we have to know AI is here, AI will stay, AI stays as a support, but we have to know that we as humans, as individuals, are making the difference, not the AI.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why my recommendation, if you use it as a help, so in short, if you use it as a help, go for it. As assistant, do it, but don't use it as fully generated all the content.
Yeah.
How you see that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that because the question is in the end, what's the added value for people who are reading these articles, watching these videos, right? What's the added value for them? And I think recycling the same thing through AI, right? Whether you write a text or you create a video, it doesn't in the end, in the eyes of these platforms, it doesn't add a lot of value to the users, right? And I just have actually one data point is, for instance, YouTube, the text AI channels, channels that generate a lot of content through AI, and in the eyes of YouTube don't add a lot of value, and YouTube blocks these channels and deletes them. And I have actually a data point that YouTube deletes 19 channels every minute. So they have an algorithm, AI algorithm, that detects this kind of channels and deletes 19 of them every minute. Now, first you need to think wait, 19 per minute. How many channels do we actually have on LinkedIn? On YouTube, right? Enormous amount of channels, and more are being created. And more of this AI slop is being pushed towards the users, right? So I see the platforms are fighting back, right? YouTube obviously does that routinely. X is now fighting back. And I know that LinkedIn, for instance, fully blocks it. LinkedIn both doesn't like and block automated posting, automated actions, but they also block the reach of your AI content if it's easily recognizable. So I think that the platforms do, in the end, what's best for their business to make as much money as possible, the best for their users. And I think overall this makes sense.
Amazing. Completely signing what you are saying. It's a huge issue, to be honest. If you are going through social media like Instagram, like YouTube, like X, it's not easy for the human eye to know which content is generated by AI or not. Even pictures, almost perfectly generated. And it makes so difficult to distinguish between the real content without AI and AI generated content.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same?
I agree with you, but I think that people are going to catch up. Still, our pattern recognition system in our brain is still very good. And I think that, people will now look for errors and mistakes in the content to recognize that it's done by a person. For instance, just a second ago, you said AI content, and then immediately you change to say AI generated content, right? Text that's read by AI, he would not make this kind of adjustment, right? On the fly, right? But even as you and I talk, or for instance, I move the camera a little bit right now, so people say, okay, it's real Anton. It's not like an AI. I think that people will be very attuned now. They will be searching for these patterns to show I'm a person, I make mistakes, right? And then they will be more inclined or willing to watch or read that kind of content than AI generated content. Why? Because why? I mean, I'm talking about this because the end, all of this is about trust. Do I trust the stuff that I watch, that I read? Is this something trustworthy? Is this person trustworthy? Or is this fake slob AI that doesn't add any value to me? I think that's the now. Let's start making mistakes. You and I say welcome from no, not Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and then people will say, okay, it's real people.
That's true. We humans, we are not perfect. So that means that we do mistakes, and these are also part of our life. So making mistakes, and this makes also real. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So let's keep it real then. Yeah.
Exactly. Let's keep it real. Before we are ending, there was also a story with the product manager of X. He reached out to you. Tell us more. What happened?
We saved this for the end, So, obviously a lot of people reacted, to these changes on X in general. Some are, I think, well received, some are less well received. And this was actually, so what happened was that Elon Musk actually hired a person who is now the head of product actually at X, who is implementing these changes. And I wrote an article about what's happening in X, where I said basically that I feel that crypto industry is not welcomed on X. And actually, the person who is in charge of all of these changes on X reached out to me on LinkedIn, basically said, stop posting fake stuff, which I felt very offended. I said, hey, I'm a real person writing real things. So it shows to you like the power of social media to reach many people, right? Because obviously he saw it somehow, right? But also the power that he is able to react, right? Even though I'm in Dubai, he's sitting probably in San Francisco, right? These platforms connect us and he can actually share, I can share my opinion. Obviously my post went viral. He had some 100,000 views, but the person, that I was, let's say criticizing, right? He was able to reach out and say, hey, stop posting stuff that is not true. And he took it very personally. So, yeah, but I'm always fair. If I'm posting something that is not true, always feel free to reach out. Tell me this is not true, and I'm happy to stand corrected. I don't have a big ego in that. I mean, I have a big ego, but I don't have a big ego in being wrong. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's what it is,
Amazing, amazing story. Thank you very much for the short conversation, Anton. Really amazing, enjoying it. And for our colleagues who are listening our conversations, please, guys, if you want to support us, what you need to do, just subscribe and like. And if you have any questions, drop them below. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks very much, Faruk. See you, everyone.
See you. Bye bye.